around late. This live is late. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully, you guys could continue to join me with a handful of people, or a handful of one and twos who always come and watch this content. So, this content, people, it's a tragedy. This story basically smells all over like racism. Not only that, we get to understand that while this child was being chased down the street, he was being called some racist slur, black bastard, and all of the slur that you can think of. Not only that, in this content, in this story, the child was also chased by two grown ass adults. Perhaps the adults weren't thinking that they should go and get the police. Definitely, as an adult, you're supposed to be trying to deflate the situation. You're supposed to act like an adult in the midst of the situation and all of that. Not only that, guys, this situation all again smells like premeditated murder, because we get to understand in the story, Dea-John friends were alleged that they were trying to rob some of the white children or one of the white child. And all of that. And it's also alleged that, well, I wouldn't say alleged, but in this whole case, it's 11 white juror and one Asian juror. The mom said because her son was black, why they brought this verdict. So the rest of them, dismissed from the murder case. And one that basically stabbed him, the teen, only got manslaughter, 6 years in jail. Okay, guys? So I just had to come and shout out this content. Mom still grieving. Mom still don't have any justice of that sort. And all of those things. And we just had to come and shout that out, guys, and said, oh my God. Imagine that on earth today, you have your child, send your child outside to go and play football, and then there's something else happen out there. It's a crazy world. Either mind is the devil's playground. So at times when we send our children outside, we're not sure what they're out there doing, but we always have to remind them, stay out of trouble. So let's unpack this story, so to speak, guys, and let's get into the story, okay? So Dea-John Reid killing, I got no justice at the trial, says mother. The mother of a black teenager, fatally stabbed by a white boy, says if the roles were reversed, her son would have gone down for murder. Dea-John Reid, 14, died in Birmingham last year, a 15-year-old who was convicted of manslaughter but not his murder. John Morris and her supporters want guidance change to ensure black jurors at the trials where victims are black. Okay? So Joanne Morris and the supporters want guidance change to ensure black jurors at trials where victims are black. And I will say that because the perpetrator was white, there's no way they were going to put all black jurors or half of it black juror, because remember the perpetrator is black. So for you to get a great verdict, a better verdict, you have to put on someone that looking like him. Someone that's going to be sympathetic to him. If you put on a black juror and the victim is black, then most of the black juror, them are going to be mad. They're going to put themselves in that situation as a black mother losing a child. So we got to be careful, all right? We got to be mindful. We got to be careful, all right? But anyways, she still needs justice. The Ministry of Justice said jurors were selected at random to ensure a cross-section of society was reflected. Jury and one Asian. Was it society reflection or reflected? I am not sure. Let's continue. Joanne Morris described her son Dea-John as a pleasant young man who would cheer anybody up. Two other teenagers and two adults, George Kent, 39, and Michael Shields, 36, those big ass grown adult, chased this little boy as well, guys. So two other teenagers and two adults, George Kent, 39, and Michael Shields, 36, were acquitted of murder during the trial in March. So that's what I said to you guys, it's premeditated. They claim allegedly that the black children were trying to rob them, a few of them in the pack. Instead of they go and call the police, they went to go get two big ass adult that was at a bar drinking. The adult decided to pack up the kids, went in the car, went back to the place where the situation happened, or the crime or the alleged robbery happened, and they end up chasing all the children. Some run east, some run west, some run south, some run north, and the list like that. And then they caught up to Dea-John, and that's when the fatal blow of that stabbing end his life right there and then. Okay, guys, let's continue. The jury at the Birmingham court was made up of 11 white people and one South Asian heritage. In England and Wales, Crown Courts, jury members are selected random and challenges can be made, but the current Crown prosecuting guidelines do not allow for challenges based on ethnic mix. Okay? At the trial, jurors were told Dea-John was hunted down by a group of white youths and adults who was shouting racist slur like you black bastard, maybe you N, and all of those things that come with racial slurs. Some were masked and they were armed with a wrench, and a large kitchen knife, and the teen was stabbed in front of multiple witnesses. His killer was given 6.5 years since May this year. Dea-John had been out with friends on the day he died, and the trial heard that the violence was sparked by earlier confrontation in which one of his group was accused of trying to steal a bag. Oh no. They always associate stealing with the black folks, boy. Oh boy, oh brother. Okay? Speaking exclusively to the BBC, Miss Morris said if the roles had been reversed and Dea-John had attacked one of the white boys, the outcome would have been different. She said, I didn't get a fair trial. This is murder. This is not manslaughter. Not only that, guys, I believe this case is premeditated because remember, they went to go get the two adults, then they came back to the scene with a knife. If me and you fought, if something occurred and I left the scene and I come back with a knife or a gun, what do you call it? That's called premeditated murder, right? But what can I say? 11 white juror, one Asian, and one black child who is a black victim. Maybe that's why the outcome, as the mother claimed. All right? She said, I don't get a fair trial. This is murder, not manslaughter. If it was Dea-John who did this to the child, Dea-John would get sentenced and tried for murder because he is black. He would have gone down for murder. I sat in court for how many hours? For 6 weeks thinking I'm going to get justice. And there's no justice. This is unfair. In the CCTV footage played to jurors, Dea-John was being chased through streets in the King's Standing area of the city, pursued by 3 people. Okay? A lawyer for the 15-year-old accepted his client had caused Dea-John's death, but told the jury he had not intended to kill him and had been acting in self-defense. People always act in self-defense even when they attack a black person. Now, people, if this boy is running away, as you could see in the camera, and you're chasing him with a knife, how can it be self-defense when all of you guys are chasing him? Not only that he had no weapon, only you had the knife. So how could that be self-defense? But anyway, anywho, who am I to say? Let's continue, all right? During sentencing, Mr. Justice John told him, if an adult did what you did, it would almost certainly be murdered, and they would be sentenced to life imprisonment. Miss Morris believed Dea-John was twice a victim, once when he was killed again because of the justice system. Okay, so once when he was killed and again because of the justice system only gave that child manslaughter. She added, I feel let down to know that Dea-John died and he don't get any justice, no justice at all. This made me feel so bad. I need justice. I'm still waiting for justice. If I can get justice, it will ease my pain a bit. Deep down inside of me, I am dying. They can't look at a case like this and say, this is manslaughter. Family let down as teen jail for killing the boy, okay? Bishop Desmond Jadu, who was supporting the family, said the case showed a change in the law was needed to allow racial mix and jurors when victims are black. He said in case of nature where particular is an issue, then clearly we need to ensure that there are reflected jurors. There need to be checks and balances. Birmingham is a city where you have got 50% at least city of color that was not reflected in the juror. It beggars believe how the juror came to that conclusion. Okay? Because 11 whites and 1 Asian. A national march for racial justice had been organized as part of the family's campaign and is due to take place in the King's Standing on Saturday from 1 o'clock. BST. In a statement, the Ministry of Justice said this was a despicable crime and our thoughts remain with the family and friends of Dea-John Reid. Okay, guys? So what do you guys think about this case? Do you think this young boy was part of stealing a bag? And even so, if he was, did he deserve his death? I am not sure. Grieving mother, grieving family, it is really sad. So sad, so sad. Can you have a juror that it's 11 white folks and 1 Asian and get a true verdict? I am not sure, guys. Do you guys think that the law will change when it comes to these jurors? We're not sure, guys. All right? So that's what I had to come and explain to you guys. That's the content that I had to come and say, people, the mother felt like she never got any justice and all of that. So let's finish and unpack the rest of the story, shall we?
Do. My son is a talented young man. Oh my God, my son is my son so much. He always give me my medication. He made my tea. He gave me everything that I need. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do without him? I can't live without him.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining. Today's case takes us to Birmingham, a busy city situated in the West Midlands in England. Famed for its revolutionary industrial eras. It was recently reported that over 400 violent crimes are committed daily in the West Midlands and consequently has the highest violent crime rate in the country. On the 23rd of February 2022, George Khan, now 39, Michael Shields, now 36, plus two 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old whose names have been withheld due to their age, stood in Birmingham Crown Court on trial for the murder of Dea-John Reid. A 36-year-old Holly Davies was also standing trial accused of assisting an offender. The 31st of May 2021, the day of the murder. It was a bank holiday Monday and school was out. Joan Morris had sent her son Dea-John to play football, a sport he regularly took part in. He met up with some friends at a park in King's Standing, and I am not sure football was on their agenda. A group of around 5 male teenagers were also at the park and appeared to be staring at Dea-John and his group. It is alleged that a few boys from Dea-John's group approached the males from the other group and attempted to rob them. The teenagers fled, running in different directions. A 16-year-old, who had been the main target of the attempted robbery, had hidden in a shop, convincing the owner to let him out the back. Dea-John and his group searched for the teenagers, but ultimately gave up and carried on about their day. Meanwhile, the group of male teenagers had regrouped at one of their homes and called for help. George Khan and Michael Shields were drinking at the Digby pub when Khan took the call. Within minutes, Khan and Shields were in Khan's Volkswagen Golf and on their way to pick up the teens, who had armed themselves with a knife and a wheel brace. The teens jumped in the car.
So did you hear? So they claimed that the little Dea-John and his friends was trying to rob or steal something from one of the white child. The white child ended up hid in a store and convinced the store clerk to let him through the back. They went to a house and they end up calling these two big adults, 30 and over, from a bar to come and help. The adults came, and instead of the adults minimize the situation, they end up chasing the black child, watching the teen stab Dea-John to death. While they're chasing him, the adults and the teens are shouting, "You black bastard, you black N," and all of those racist slur that you always heard growing up. Let's continue.
Hunt began. They drove back to the scene of the previous incident in King's Standing, then drove around several roads surrounding King's Standing and Perry Common. Both groups would see each other near the library on College Road. Khan, Shields, and the three teenagers exited the car. The chase began.
There's a chase.
Dea-John
Look.
and his group fled in different
See?
directions.
Because they're chasing him with the knife, bro.
A 16-year-old from Dea-John's
See?
group
Look,
hid in
see
a
there?
garden.
And they're going to stab
He heard
him.
a member of
There's
the
the
opposition
knife.
say, "I've got my thing on me,"
And they're going to
which
stab
meant he
him.
was armed. He stayed hidden. Dea-John continued to run. He jumped over some railings. A witness describes about 5 guys chasing a black boy, with one of them shouting that they were going to get the black bastard.
What did I say?
Dea-John had nowhere left to run. He tried to take refuge behind a car, but to no avail. He turned. He was face to face with the young boy that was about to take his life. A witness describes how the male thrusts the knife into Dea-John's chest. He described how Dea-John lifts up his shirt, shudders, then collapses to the ground. An elderly lady could be heard screaming, "He's been stabbed, he's been stabbed." His attackers fled the scene, leaving Dea-John to die where he fell. People gathered to try and save him. Police and paramedics would also arrive at the scene, but Dea-John Reid was pronounced dead at the scene. A post-mortem revealed he died from a single stab wound to the chest. The next day, the 1st of June 2021, Michael Shields handed himself in at his local police station. He was arrested on suspicion of murder. 5 other males were arrested within hours of each other, on suspicion of murder. A 36, a 33, and a 14-year-old boy were all released with no further action.
My God.
George Khan, 38, Michael Shields, 35, and a 14-year-old boy would all go on to be charged with murder. All 3 were remanded into custody.
And dismissed.
A plea hearing was set at Crown Court in early August. Holly Davies was arrested and charged with assisting an offender. From what I can work out, Khan, Davies and the 14-year-old boy were arrested together in Davies' car in another city with the teenager's blood-stained clothes in the boot. As word starts to spread about Dea-John's death, tensions start to rise and revenge is on the agenda. A number of vigilantes took to social media in retaliation.
Okay, guys. So that's what occurred in this whole case here. All right? And this case is troubling because to me, the way I see it, seems like it's premeditated if you come back with a knife. But who am I to say? Okay? Adam mind is a devil playground. Be mindful when the children are out here, what they're doing and who are they playing with when it comes to these kind of cases. All right? Let's continue.
That day, when I hear that Dea-John pass, I tell you, I feel like I'm going to die. Dea-John don't deserve to die like that. He didn't anybody anything.
For the mother of Dea-John Reid, the pain of losing her son is made worse still by what his family see as the absence of justice that followed in the courts.
I sit the 6 weeks there with my mom and we watch the video of everything. I literally see the person run and stab my brother in the heart. And you say it's not murder, it makes no sense.
Yeah, easy. Dea-John was a talented young footballer who wanted to train to become a dentist. He was just 14 years old when he was stabbed to death in broad daylight. CCTV shows him being chased through the streets, hunted down, in the words of the prosecutor, by a group of white men and boys who racially abused him.
Here they.
He's caught up to by another 14-year-old boy, masked and brandishing a large kitchen knife.
You're there.
At his trial, he claimed the stabbing seconds later was in self-defense. The jury acquitted him of murder, convicting him of manslaughter. The others involved walked free.
What do you think about the verdict that was passed?
Judgment.
If something went wrong somewhere. You see a person have a knife like that, chasing down someone, and you say that is manslaughter? It seems like Dea-John life wasn't matter to none of them. And it's true, Dea-John black. That's why Dea-John life don't matter.
They say the jury at Birmingham Crown Court had just one member from an ethnic minority background. The verdict meant the killer received a 6.5-year sentence.
Wow.
Dea-John's family say the system let them down and needs to change.
We need the jury, we need them to mix. You understand? No pure white, nor no pure Asian. We need a mixed minority.
And you think that will make a difference?
Yes, it will. Because if it was mixed, I feel it wouldn't go like this.
The family is now campaigning alongside this community activist for a new law requiring juries are ethnically diverse in cases where race is an issue.
There's no evidence that race played a part in the jury's verdict. So why is this so important?
Because if people are judged by their peers, so your peers are the people that you live with, and that jury did not reflect Birmingham. So if someone uses the N-word, a juror who is white may not understand the serious implications of those statements.
We put the family's calls to this senior barrister, but he believes the way that juries are chosen means they're already the fairest element of the criminal justice system.
I think it's important for juries to be diverse wherever possible. All our jurors are in fact drawn out of a hat, and it means that, broadly speaking, we get fair juries and they are balanced.
But that's little comfort for this family, who continue to suffer from a belief that the system didn't care about their son and they want his death to matter.
I told him he's gonna do something.
Could you imagine, guys? Could you really imagine? So an idle mind is a devil's playground. An idle mind is the devil's playground. Be mindful when your children are out here hanging out with a bunch of people that are up to no good. Let our heart and soul goes out to this family. Let's hopefully, because of this situation, this young man situation, end up change the law when it comes to the jurors. I just know that when it comes to cases, if you are a black person, majority of the time, you'll be lucky to have 1 or 2 black jurors. Not only that, in many places, you cannot have any criminal record and stuff like that to be under juror. Not only that, majority of the time, jurors are picked most likely because they're property tax payers. Most of the time, these are productive people of society that they pick to be a juror. So if you are a black person and you're a black victim, and the person who killed you is white, most likely you're not going to have all black jurors. Maybe not even one on there. Because how I'm going to have a juror with all black people if the victim is black? Then all the black people are going to put themselves in that mother's shoe and say, yeah, that person is guilty because on feelings. So we want the jury to be divided. We want the jury to be equal. If it's 12, okay, we should have 5, 4, and the list go on. All right? Say you want to put on 5 white person. Then you want to put on 4 black person. And 1 somebody else. All right? But the jurors are supposed to be mixed. Shouldn't be 1 white juror and then 1 Asian juror in a case where the victim was a black victim. So there's stories and there's a lesson learned from this incident. When your children are outside, do you know what they're doing? When your children tells you that they're going outside to play basketball, football and all, do you know if they're out there doing it? Are you calling their phone to say, yo, what you up to? Are you ringing? Are you trying to go outside to go check and send one of the other siblings outside to go and check to see if they're really outside doing what they're supposed to be doing? We're not sure. We don't know. Okay, guys? So that's what we should basically pay attention to when it comes to this case. A lot of us have children, and our children are running Wild Wild West outside playing when our children could be outside volunteering. Remember, volunteering give you lots of opportunity in life. You can volunteer later on. That place could be your reference for your first job, your second, or your third job. Volunteering also let you know lots of people in the community you don't know tomorrow. One of those places that you volunteer, one of those people could be your boss tomorrow morning. Not only that, when you also volunteer, that's the same place you volunteer, most likely you could also get a job there where you volunteer. So instead of have your children them running up and down with all of these kids outside running up and down up to no good, it's best that you let them volunteer. It's best that you let them go find a part-time job. It's best that you make them go and do something constructive. Put them in programs. Why bother have them running up and down outside when you could legitimately put them in football and pay your money? You have lots of black moms out here, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But every week they're doing hairdo. If you add up that money is a football money to put your children in sports. Okay? There's also lots of programs. When you fall underneath a threshold of low income, there's also lots of help or lots of things that you can apply for to put your children in programs. Okay? So an idle mind is a devil's playground. Let our heart and soul goes out to this family. Hopefully, in another situation, you don't have 11 white juror and 1 Asian one when the victim is black. So it's a lesson to learn from this situation and this tragedy. Let's push on. Let's run on. Okay, guys. Let's talk about some other things. All right. So let's get to breaking news, please and thanks.
Good evening. There was a crime that shocked our city. Mass suspects opening fire inside a club.
Today, police announced arrests in that case, sharing details of a string of other crimes involving firearms. And we want to warn you, the video released by police is disturbing. CTV Sean Thong joins us live with all the details. Sean.
Well, Michelle and Nathan, there were as many as half a dozen incidents, indiscriminate shooting, where the police say it's somehow tied to the tow truck turf war, with one being tied to the Piper Arms. It was the night of March 7th. 3 men entered the Piper Arms pub in Scarborough and started firing, one using an automatic weapon. 7 people were shot, 5 more injured. Miraculously, no one was killed. Police releasing video of the shooting today as they announce
the Toronto Police Service has arrested 10 men in connection with a series of violent incidences that occurred across the GTA.
According to police, the Piper Arms shooting is connected to 6 other incidents, mostly from early March, and the investigation called Project Nighthawk, resulting in 10 people arrested, 203 charges laid, 4 guns seized, 10 search warrants executed, and 1 suspect outstanding. The charges include 24 counts of attempted murder.
This kind of brazen violence, this disregard for human life, is completely unacceptable.
Of the incidents, Toronto police released 2 more videos of shootings they believe are connected, including this one from March 4th near Weston and St. Clair Avenue West, where occupants of a stolen car fire at an unsuspecting person at a tow truck yard. 1 man suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And this one, also from March 4th, where suspects in the same stolen car arrive at a gas station in the Lawrence Avenue East and Warden Avenue area, where they opened fire on a man who was washing his truck. The victim sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
It is part of the tow truck turf wars that we're going on, and we're hoping now that those that we arrested will really make a difference in the number of shootings that we're seeing.
2 of the shootings taking place near a tow truck yard, with police saying the only tie to the shooting at the Piper Arms is a suspect named Sheldon Gordon, who police allege was one of the 3 shooters here and at the tow truck yard on March 4th.
Where it is connected is the group of people that we identified as being part of the tow truck shootings have also done the pub shooting.
Police say they're working on the possibility that these shooters were hired by some other organization, but the shooters themselves are not a gang.
There's no kind of organization to them. There's no emblems. There's no colors or code. There's nothing. They're just young males.
Police are alleging that all 3 shooters from the Piper Arms have been arrested, while one suspect, 20-year-old Daquan Joseph of Toronto, remains at large. One bit of shocking information is that many of these shootings happen within a week of each other. Now, of the 4 firearms that police did manage to confiscate through their investigation, they have traced many of them back to these shootings, but the automatic weapon that you saw in the Piper Arms shooting has not been recovered. Reporting live, I'm Sean Lee. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean.
Do you hear that, guys? Hold on, is this plugged in, man? Do you hear that, guys? Hold on 1 second. So, did you hear that, guys? Do you hear how disturbing that is? With all these shootings that are happening daily and daily and daily, guys. It's like I left my damn other charger at work, it seems, eh? And this charger is not charging my iPad fast enough. Right, guys? So perhaps this live is going to end. Because without my iPad, guys, maybe gonna go get a different device. Well, give me a second. I don't know why this. Anyways, so I want to get some other stuff. Okay, guys? So, in all of that, guys, we want to get into some other things, all right? So let's wrap this up and let's get Weinstein. So you guys know that Weinstein is in hot water. There's a retrial going on and it's almost wrapping up. So let's get to Weinstein trial, quick and fast.
Day 1 of jury deliberations have now wrapped up in the rape retrial of disgraced Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein. This morning, one juror had to be replaced after calling in sick. During 5 weeks of testimony, jurors heard accounts of 3 women who said that they were assaulted. Weinstein denies their claims and denies any wrongdoing. His first trial ended in a conviction, but was later overturned on appeal.
So Weinstein is still out here, guys, with his case and his perversion, his pervert self and all of that. All right? So if you guys didn't know, jury begins when it comes to Weinstein and all of that, and it's troubling and disturbing, okay? From there, guys, I also want to get to let's get to Diddy trial for a second, okay? The judge wants to kick out Sean Combs out of court. Let's get to that.
Good evening, I'm Mike Barza. As we take a look back at another day of testimony in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. And what a day it was. The judge nearly threw Combs out of the courtroom for making faces. And we heard some emotional testimony from another former girlfriend, one of the final witnesses against Mr. Combs as prosecutors begin to wrap up their case. In just a moment, we'll be joined by ABC News legal analyst Shauna Lloyd to dig deeper into everything that happened in court today. But first up, here's Darla Miles with a recap from Lower Manhattan.
Sean Diddy Combs may end up getting kicked out of the courtroom in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial that will determine if he spends the rest of his life in jail. Thursday afternoon, Judge Arun Subramanian with a stern warning to Combs' attorneys. There's a line of questioning where your client was nodding vigorously and looking at the jury, and there was a subsequent moment when there was a sidebar and I saw your client looking at the jury. That is absolutely unacceptable, saying, if it happens again, if it happens even once, I will hear an application from the government to give a curative instruction to the jury, which you don't want. That could result in the exclusion of your client from the courtroom. Combs' nonverbal interaction with jurors during the harsh and humiliating second day of cross-examination of Brianna Bongolan, the graphic designer who was accused the 55-year-old mogul of dangling her off a 17-story balcony. A handful of those jurors repeatedly seen chatting with each other.
Could you imagine all of that? Could you imagine all of that, guys? So, guys, when he was dangling this lady over the balcony, nobody heard? When somebody's dangling you for fun or a joke or playing with you on a high-rise building, how do you freak? You panic, right? So when he was dangling her over the balcony, was her mouth muzzled? Did he cover her mouth? It was late in the night, early in the morning. Nobody else lived on that building. Nobody lived else on that condo. Nobody else heard her screaming and hollering. Nobody, no witness other than these people. Nobody saw when he was dangling her. So I can't believe that this girl was dangling and the only person who could come and testify to that would be her. Would be her. Seriously, guys? So when he was dangling her over the when he was dangling her over the balcony, nobody saw, nobody heard. Oh no. Let's continue.
Making faces on a daily basis. And later on today, prosecutors calling Jane the third alleged victim to the stand. Jane testifying, I loved him. I really loved my partner. I loved making love to my partner. It was really wonderful, really nice. I felt like Sean was really passionate. What do you remember happening with you talking with Sean in May 2021? Jane responding, we searched specific names on websites just in the middle of being high. He wanted me to fantasize about other men. When you said okay, did you think it was going to happen that night? Jane answering no. Jane going on to say that she had sex with an escort for the first time that night and that it opened a Pandora's box to our relationship forever. It was a door that I was unable to shut during our relationship. Now, Jane went on to talk about a pattern called hotel nights. That is the pattern that prosecutors are working to establish right now. Patterns where his assistant...
So we're not going to drag it out. So my thing is, you notice in all of most of these sex crime, these sex trafficking, Trump Hotel always been mentioning for a while. And my thing is, so the hotel people are not going to get in trouble like how they had to pay Cassie some kind of money for that abuse, for that domestic abuse tape or video. So all this time we hear about R. Kelly, we heard that R. Kelly trafficked those young girls in the Trump tower, allegedly. Go look up that story now. I'm always going to say allegedly. Now we hear from Diddy's situation. We get to understand that some of these suites are Donald Trump towers. Not only that, we get to understand from the Punisher, it's almost a year before he realized that was Cassie and Diddy, because they were always covering their face and he only could see his eyes like a vampire. And the only time he realized that was Diddy is when he turned on the TV or the TV says, welcome, Mr. Combs. That's when he found out, that's when the cat jumped out the bag that this man like some freaky deek and this man is committing adultery. Not adultery, Sodom and Gomorrah, basically. He said that when he was researching these people, he thought they were married people. Cassie go around knowing that she's just a girl on the side, go around and tell people, oh, Puffy is my husband, Puffy is my husband. Puffy don't want to marry to no one. Not only that, guy, is it perhaps the reason why Puffy brought all of these guys on Cassie is the fact that he's not interested in the pumps? He's not interested in the vagina area? So when he bring these guys, Cassie can get for her share and he can get his share of jerk off because he's interested in men more than women. Perhaps that's what the problem is, guys. Remember Flash, one of the male escorts says he keep on doing whatever with the baby oil and he keep on running behind him to ask him, can I penetrate ya? And then we also heard from the Punisher. The Punisher said that because of his hearing impaired, he thought he heard Diddy, while Diddy was pacing back and forth, he thought he heard Diddy says, can I penetrate ya? So when you really think about it, guys, the reason why I believe that Diddy brought these people is because Diddy, up in his age, with all of those drugs and stuff, the erection was not there to continue all of that effing when it comes to Cassie. Not only that, I believe that Diddy is not really homosexual. I believe he's more interested in guys, allegedly, more than women. Okay? And I believe that for you to invite those men over, it would be on a low down because those men are escort and they keep their shit low down, confidential until they get a subpoena. So if you go around and sleep with all of these men in the hip hop world, it would be out there like you've been whispering, oh, he's gay. Oh, he gay. Oh, he A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, he's fish. Oh, he's a barracuda. Oh, he's a snapper. Red snapper. Yellow snapper. And all the snappers, them that you have in the sea. So I believe therefore, precisely, this man get the kick off the man them where and more than how he get a kick out of Cassie having, you know what, with another man. Not only that, in the black community, we claim that it's modern days and it's okay for us to bring another lady and another man, call it 3 some, 4 some, 5 some, 6 some, 7 some, till we end up get a Sodom and Gomorrah some. Seriously. So what are we crying for? What are we debating on? The same nastiness that we're out here shouting, it's modern day time. Not only that, if the Punisher took almost a year to know who was Diddy, Then what about the rest of the people other than his personal assistants? How long did they find out and found out that was Diddy? Remember they said he booked the hotels under alias. Remember he booked the escorts under alias name. And not only that, him and Cassie always cover their face. So to all of the people them that he claimed that are victims, when did they find out who he was? Like how the Punisher found out a year later, this is Comb, and Comb like the nastiness. Comb like other people to F out his girl more than for him to be there effing out his girl. Let me tell you, you have men, a lot of men out there, they will wine and dine you and have no respect for you. You have men out there, they will be with you for 15 years, don't live with you, and meet a girl tomorrow morning and live with her. They say live with me, they say eat with me and drink with me and play with me outside, and living with me is two different things. They say introduce me to your friends, but introduce me to your mama and your close family, it's a different scenario. So a lot of times men have women for different scenarios. From ancient time, you guys been out here playing, talking about matey, side chick, the other woman. Man should have gal and gal in a bungle, man from Rima, man from jungle, and the list go on. When you really think about it, Cassie know what role she was playing. Remember, Cassie knew that this man had his baby mother with the two kids. Remember, Cassie knew that he had young Miami. Remember, all of these women that this man ran through like a train, had this woman on his hand, have this on his shoulder because he doesn't want the world to think and continue to think that he is gay. The next question I also want to ask, guys, is this. If Flash, one of the escorts, says that there was so much drugs on the table and he never took none of Puff Daddy or Cassie drugs because he already had his own supply. So the question becomes, if Flash already had his own supply and get high on his own supply, how can they say that Diddy is making these people get high on drugs to continue for hours? And if you're a pothead and a crackhead and a molly popper, and Diddy, you come there and Diddy have those molly and those crack and those cocaine and all of those things, and you decide to snort or pop or use it through a needle, then can you blame somebody from your drug addiction that you want to get high and continue to have you know what? So what I get to understand in this case, guys, the prosecution only allowed to only job is to at least prove 3 things about the racketeering. And we also get to understand that the Punisher said that every time he went to go see Cassie, he was in town. So where did they traffic the Punisher from? Where did they fly the Punisher from? They didn't fly the Punisher from anywhere. Majority of the people, I get to understand that they were right there in the escort, right there on the Craigslist, right there in the neighborhood, right around there to swing over and come over. So how can they say that they traffic someone? Then when you talk about the kidnapping situation, I get to understand that when we're talking about, oh, that guy put that girl in the car, or oh, that girl put that man in the car, I get to understand, so no, you can have somebody here, move them to point A to point B, and that's called kidnapping. I get to understand that. The reason why they say criminal enterprise, they said that Diddy will do a crime and pay somebody not to talk. Like the bribery situation with the security guard and the Cassie situation, or the Cuddy situation where that lady was held hostage and said not to talk, and all of these kind of situation. So the next thing becomes, no. The next thing is, when they charge you for racketeering, the RICO Act, right? The slave law to the Man's Act, to the RICO Act, that's when they're allowed to take away your money and take all your assets. So my question is, when you do a crime and you get the money from that kind of crime, you're not allowed to keep that money. But the lawyer is allowed to keep some, because I'm assuming that you're going to pay the lawyer out of that money that you have. And not only that, the government is going to take the money and the government is going to have the money. So you who they're charging not supposed to keep the money because it's crime money, but you can pay the lawyer out of it, obviously. And then when the government takes your asset and your money, what occurred to it, guys? Let's get to it. When the government takes your money, guys, okay? 1 second. When the government takes your money, guys, this is where the money goes. When the government takes your money. So when your money taken by RICO charges, when the feds take your money, it's usually through a process called asset forfeitures. The money goes into a special account used for various purposes, including compensating victims of crime, funding grants to support crime fighting and victim assistance programs, and sometimes covering the cost of investigation and enforcement activities. So you're basically helping the police fighting crime with your crime money. Oh no. Mama mia, mama. So you see where we're going with this? So when we're out here shouting that the government, the police are getting overtime because there's a crime scene or because of all of those situations, when you hide, guys, and look, your money end up helping them out as well. So you continue to do crime. So this is a circle I call a catch-22 that they keep on going around in circle and circle and circle. So therefore, these people really need crime to some of these avenues to get the money. And remember, without any crime, the judge have no job, police officers have no job, prosecutors don't have no job, the court system will be empty, 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 empty. So it's a catch-22, and your downfall uplift someone. On your downfall, someone end up with a good job. On your downfall, somebody end up having a government pension. On your downfall, some people work overtime for your stupidity. So shall I shout? Okay, guys? So all of those things, I had to come and shout on you guys, wrapping up from the Diddy situation, quite so. Okay, guys? The live was late this morning because I'm coming in from work late as well, guys. Okay? Sometimes, like I told you guys, I am on that night shift. Okay? Moving on, running on, running on, running on. Okay, guys? Let's talk about some other things, all right? Not only that, guys, we also want to talk about 1 second. Actually, we'll get to that for a second. 1 second. With that case that we spoke about earlier, guys, with the 14-year-old that was chased down in London, England, and killed, reminds us of this case. This case was talked about for years. If you don't know about this case, I'm sure your grandma told you about this case. I'm sure your mama told you about this case. I'm sure your dad told you about this case. This case was way back in 1959 when they run down this black man, killed him. The police knew who the murder suspect intended to kill the black man, but nothing came out of it right in the UK. All right? Right in the London, right there. That sparked a hail race riots and all of that. No one was charged. So when I saw that black child run and stabbed and two adult white men and the rest of them whites shouting racist slur and stabbed that little boy. And when it comes to the jury, 11 white jurors and one Asian, then we're not surprised if you know about this case all the way in London. And if you know about the discrimination allegedly that goes on in London, England, then you won't be surprised when it comes to that case that we spoke about not too long. Okay, guys, so I had to highlight this part quick and fast. Let's run. Happy Friday, guys. All right, moving on quick and fast. Okay, from there, guys, 1 second. From there, guys, we also get to understand, regardless if you are part of a crime or not, the government can take your money just like that, even if you're not found guilty. Let's get into that part, since we're talking about where does your money go when you do crime.
The DEA investigates you and they find absolutely no drugs on you, but they think, they might suspect that you are a drug trafficker. They can do something known as civil asset forfeiture, where they can take any type of property, whether it's cash or something else, that could be tied to an investigation into the drug. Well, 22-year-old Joseph Rivers was a victim of that. Joseph Rivers was traveling from Michigan to Los Angeles to pursue his dreams of being a music video producer. He had saved up $16,000 in cash that he was planning on taking with him to Los Angeles to start his dream and start his new life. Well, he was on the train in Albuquerque. All of a sudden, the DEA stopped the train and they started searching him. Now, he complied with everything. They wanted to look through his bags, and they didn't find any drugs, but they did find the $16,000 in cash. So what did they do? They took the cash, okay? Rivers, 22, wasn't detained and has not been charged with any crimes since his money was taken last month. It's amazing. So...
I'm looking for a calculator here. I'm not paying attention to you. I find it, this is an unbelievably staggering story. And part of punishment when you get arrested and convicted of a crime might be that you're fined. So taking your money is an acceptable form of punishment. And in fact, in nearly every federal case that we read about that involves people in business or people in politics, and sometimes just regular people, there's a fine in addition to whatever sentence you get. So here, they're just doing the fine without the trial.
They're just taking your money. I told you.
More un-American. In this case, they're doing it without the arrest.
See it there?
No arrest, no charges.
What did I say to you guys?
It's because they think they know. It's staggering.
Do I need to drag this out? So you see where we're going with this? So the other day I say to you guys, be very careful and mindful that most of these black big moguls are rich. Look out for the feds to come and take the money. And even if they suspect you have a crime or no crime, or if you're not arrested, there's no trial, they're allowed to take your money that you work hard for. Remember, I tell you this. Keep your eyes open. Black men, stay woke and stay away from crime. The last time I checked, let's run on. Let's continue. Let's unpack some more stuff. Okay, guys? From there, guys, we want to get into... Let's get into some other things, all right? Okay, then now, yes. So let's get into sports. Let's go to sports for a second, guys, okay? Since we wrap up all of that. Let's get to sports, okay? It's coming, guys. Let's get to the hoop. So let's announce this. Scotty Barnes. Look at this, guys. Scotty Barnes to play for Jamaica. Remember the other day I told you guys from America, Americans are going to Jamaica to play and all of that. Well, right there, guys, Scotty Barnes, players could end up playing for Jamaica. Right there, guys. Scotty Barnes, Devin Vensel, and Thompson twins are reportedly among NBA players in talks to play for the Caribbean national team. Look at that. So what did I say? So when you really think about it, guys, it seems like majority of these young men in Jamaica don't want to play basketball, don't want to be a runner, don't want to do anything other than, anyways, allegedly, want to be a chopper and a gallus. Now you have the American has to go all the way to Jamaica to go and play the game because nobody not really interested in basketball of that sort. Everybody wants to be an artist. Everybody want to sing about guns. Everybody want to sing underneath women, to be honest. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout the baller. Scotty Barnes. Is going to play for Jamaica and the two twins that I told you guys last time in sports. Let's run on quick and fast, okay? All right. So from there, guys, we have a bunch of things to also tell you. Since we're at sports, guys, let's get into this one with our next baller, okay? So let's get to this one with another baller, all right? So this big bad baller from New Orleans, woman accusing Zion Williamson of abusing, seeking anywhere from $18 million to $50 million in abuse case. Woman accusing Zion Williamson of abusing, seeking anywhere from $18 million to $50 million. Get caught up again. So majority of the basketball players, majority of the movie actors, like all of these things, majority of these hip-hop guys, you're going to go down in racketeer and RICO, and government that's going to own all their stuff like back in the days, in slavery days. That's the way how I see it. Majority of the time, we're just the slaves on the plantation. Allegedly, they shout out here. Okay? They claim that nobody else is important out here more than the majority who always out here from day one taking people's stuff that don't belong to them, allegedly. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout since we're doing basketball. Running on, running on, running on. Going to wrap up this live sooner or later. Okay, guys? From there, guys, we also want to talk about, 1 second. We also want to talk about Epstein. Okay? Epstein, guys, let me find it. Epstein, they released all the names that was on Epstein yacht or Epstein list. All right? And they release it, guys, with all the names of all of those people that was on Epstein, in Epstein house and everything. All of that nastiness, guys. Okay? So they released the names. And all of that, all right? So all the names has been released that the government had with all of these big mogul in the sex trafficking case of the underage girls that Epstein was fondling and got away with it more than one time. So when everybody's out here shouting R. Kelly, this is it. Read on for yourself, guys. And not only that, guys, read on for yourself, guys. They came up with the list of all the lists. I'm keep on getting there, guys, just to show you. All the lists. It's coming, guys. It's all the way coming, right here. It's all the way at the bottom, guys. Here we are. So these are all the lists of the people that were enjoying those young girls, allegedly. So Maxwell Gasoline, you know her, she's already locked up. The one that was in the 2021 sex trafficking in the connection in Epstein activities. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, second son of Queen Elizabeth II, with the Guthrie girl that killed herself the other day. Then you had Bill Clinton, former U.S. president. Then you had the Donald Trump. You had Hillary Clinton. You had David Copperfield, the American stage musician. John Connelly, the New York police detective, allegedly. You had the Allen guy, the prolific lawyer, was there with the Epstein. Leonardo DiCaprio was there on the plane. Al Gore, they said Richard Branson. Look there, the British billionaire. All of these people that was with Epstein with the sex trafficking and the young girls, guys. These are the names the government released. All the names and all of their important job. You also had Israel Prime Minister. You had the British psychiatrist of science. You have Kevin Spacey that we spoke about the other day. You had George Lucas, the American film. Jean-Luc, the French. Oh, people, look at Naomi Campbell, Heidi Klum. All of these that they claim say, you remember her? That they trafficked the young girl? Well, this is everybody name that they release who was with Epstein with this trafficking of those young girls, guys. So I just had to come and utter this, shout this out, 1, 2, 3, and said, guys, remember that list that they were talking about? This is the list. The list came back now with everybody who's famous and important that's on that list. Okay, guys? Running on, moving on. Quite so. Now, Cardi B reacts to Offset wants spousal support. Let's get to this one.
Listen up. The fact that I'm waking up right now, right? And the fact that I'm waking up right now to see that this fuck nigga and his fuck ass team, I know it's not his team. I know it's his bitch ass, gonna tell the Breakfast Club the only reason why this motherfucker asking for spousal support, because I was asking for everything. And because I don't be with my kids. Yo, you such a fucking pussy ass nigga. Word to my mother. I want you to die, but I want you to die fucking slow, nigga.
Hear all of this
When you die,
racistness.
nigga, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you...
If you're from the Dominican and you have a background like this, girl, can you come out here and call a person a nigga and be accepted in the black community still? Isn't that like racist slur? If you look at her, if she's from Mexico and you call her a wetback, is that a racist slur? Of course. Right? So these are the things that happen when black men don't know themselves and end up with these things that's coming from a poll. These things that come out and say that she drugged men and robbed their money, but no locked up, no racketeering, no RICO, nothing of that sort. Because they don't have the skin, because they don't look like us. They're not going to lock her up, is she? When are they going to lock her up like Bill Cosby? Anytime soon? Let's continue.
Nigga, you got to think of me. Let me tell y'all something, right? When I first filed for fucking child support, my lawyer filed for child support. I mean, when I first filed for divorce, my lawyer filed for shit. And this nigga started spazzing, right? So I told my lawyer, there's a renew, what's that shit called? There's a renew divorce paper, right? And in the renewed divorce paper, I asked for no child support. I didn't ask for no child support because I want to be done with this marriage. Like, I feel like I'm tied up. I asked for no child support. Kiari is allowed to see my kids. There is not one day that he's not allowed to see my kids. Okay? Mm-hmm. He stood up my kids 3 times. He have seen Blossom only like 5 times. Okay? And I've been trying to save your face. But for you, stop playing saying that I don't be seeing my fucking kids. Stop playing. Because you don't want to look like a less of a bitch ass nigga. All right. If I keep you away from the kids, right? All right. You talk to the kids almost every single day. You call the kids every single day. I allow you to talk to the kids every single day. If I allow you to talk to the kids, why would I not allow you not to see the kids? It was a point that he was making a big deal like, oh, I'm not going to go to New York to see the kids because I'm not going to be seeing my kids in a hotel room. I was like, all right, so you could see him in my mom's house. You still made it a big deal. And I love my daughter so much. Yo, if I'm lying, my kids could die if I'm lying. I said, you know what? To make it easier for you, you could see the kids in my house. Just because I want my daughter to feel the love of her dad. Because I want my kids to have that love of their dad. I want the love of both parents, even if we're not together. Also, the last time we seen the kids was in March on Cody's birthday. Okay? So before you start talking to me about I don't see my kids, let's talk about it. You haven't seen the kids since March. Okay? You said you was going to go see the kids after you went, when you did your Dominican Republic trip. You stood them up. You went to do a hosting in Boston, and you stood them up. You say you was going to see the kids after Mother's Day, and you stood them up. Oh, no. My kids, my house is always open.
Anyways, we don't need to drag out this situation any longer. To be honest, right now, we just going to kiss our teeth literally and pass. Next, let's unpack some stuff in the phone, please and thanks, okay? So we're going to wrap up this live, guys. So we talk about everything else that we can talk about and stuff like that. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift unseated as the world's youngest self-made female billionaire by Lucy Goa, a hard-partying 30-year-old college dropout. Okay? So she bought her album the other day with all of that big tour and all of that. And now she's one of the youngest self-made billionaire. Oh my. Yo. Yaga yo. Yo. Okay, guys? So I had to shout that. Moving on, running on. From there, guys, let's talk about Diddy for a second before we even get to anything else. Okay. Remember this lawyer that left Diddy's camp? Remember the lawyer that is on Diddy's case right now is Young Thug lawyer, right? Mr. Steele, the one who got locked up for Young Thug, the one that got the black judge off the case that had so much craziness happening with Young Thug. Well, Mr. Steele is added to Puff Diddy case, but the guy, the black man who was on the case, guys, was Anthony Rico. You know whose lawyer was this, guys? He once represented Osama bin Laden. So the man came off the case. This great lawyer that used to represent Osama bin Laden. Okay, guys? So let's see. He must know the reason why he came off the case. He must know the reason why, possible, they're going to find this man guilty. But my thing is, again, one more thing, guys. If they claim, say, Diddy was always strung out, Diddy was always drugged up, Diddy was always taking drugs, then how come his lawyer is not adding all of this in, that he never did those things in the right conscious of mind because he's a drug addict and he's always high? Because most likely when a Caucasian person does something and they're drunk, you hear it because they were drunk. When they're mentally ill and they kill someone, you hear that they were mentally ill. When anything happened, you hear it was self-defense. So I'm just wondering, because this man is a drug addict and he's always popping drugs, what would be the defense? Are they going to sentence him in life in prison without no parole? Are they going to put him in a program for addicts? I am not sure. Okay, guys? So from you see this man came off the case, then you know that this will be one big ass circus. Running on, running on, running on. Okay, guys? From there, guys, you know that this prison situation is a money grabber and a money thing, because we all know these are the things that are made in prison. These are the things that are made in prison. And we all know when the feds take your money, they're the one who keep it. They all keep it to fund investigation, enforcement activities, all of that overtime, and all of that your money go to. So what are you out here committing crime for? To make other people rich when you become an ass and a menace to society? Huh, guys? Not only that, guys, like I said, these are the items that are made in prison free of charge. Clothing, uniforms, jackets, shoes, flak vests, and other apparel for military and police officers. So you hear this? So when you got in prison because you're stupid, when you go to prison because you commit a crime, because you think you're invisible to the law, look who you're making stuff for. So this is a cycle. The world is a cycle. This is a cycle. They know exactly what they're doing. This is a catch-22 system. When one person fails, someone is up to it up. When one person go and be an ass and end up in the system continues. So look at the black folks. Black folks, if you're on this live, black folks, look it. When you become an ass and end up in jail, you're right there working for free labor. Come, let me shout out the things them that you're making in jail. When you're out here, you don't have no work. So when you're in a jail, you start to be a receiver and shipper. You decide to build furniture. You have to build this and that, but when you're on the road, you're not going to get no trade. You're running around with women, want to play Russian roulette with woman front, and then you're out here busting guns. Black men. So black men, here are some of the examples of the produce of inmates making prison. Uniform, jackets, shoes, flat vests, and other apparel for military and police officers. Desk, bookshelves, picnic tables, and other furniture for government buildings and parks. Oh no. Huh? Sausages, candy, donuts, breads, and other food items that you're out here eating. License plates, storage box, and even items for personal use like handmade toys and art. Baseball caps, baseball hats, the canoe boats, and all of that. So when you hear all of this right now with all of these knowledge and wisdom, are you still going to go out there go commit crime? Not only that, guys, we understand when you become an ass and a nuisance to society, you have people buying stocks and bonds of prisoners. So why are you guys getting caught up and being a slave all over? Why you guys cutting up in this catch-22? While you got bust gun, somebody get overtime. While you out here bust gun, somebody buying stocks and bonds. While you out here bust gun and not do crime, you're out there building furniture and all of these things for government building. But when you're on the road, you want to go get a damn trade. Make that make sense for me. So these are the things that I had to come and shout drastically, precisely, right there and then. Okay, guys? Right? Anyways, let's continue. All right? From there, guys, we want to drop out this since we were talking about a little bit of sports and all of that. So let's drop this right here. Judge orders woman who accused ex-Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer of sexual assault to pay damages by default. So this man basically never went to court, violated life settlement. So right now he has to pay some money by damages by default. This judge order woman accused of ex-Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer. Okay, guys, if you didn't know, now you know. All right, let's continue. All right. From there, guys, we also want to talk about King of the Hill. San Antonio police walk back statement dismissing possible hate crime in Jonathan Josh shooting death. So they're basically saying maybe there was a hate crime because look at his color, look what he looks like. So they probably think it's a hate crime. Why him and the neighbor always go at it every time, over and over and over. Till that day he went to go retrieve his mail and he end up get shot like a dog. Eh? Anyways, guys, let's continue. Not only that, guys, from there, we also want to talk about Rihanna. Rihanna network take a huge hit after failed business venture. Rihanna net worth has taken a hit in recent months, but the pop star is far from broke and still have a huge fortune thanks to her Fenty Beauty and Savage Fenty Luxury businesses. Okay, guys, I have two things for Fenty. I have a Fenty shoes and I also have a Fenty lipstick. That's the only two things I have with Fenty. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout about that quick and fast. We also want to talk about this. Trinidadian authorities launch probe into cartel US $950,000 payment. They want to know what's going on, what's happening, where this man get the money to pay this man of crime and of that sort and all of that. When you hide, the man came out with a whole spiel, with a whole questionnaire and all of that. And this is what all of the questions detail and entail about Adidja Palmer. So, A, Adidja Palmer is someone I grew up with in Portmore, Jamaica. So everybody thought that the promoter who's keeping the show with Vice Cartel and all of them was Trinidadian. Nope, the man is from Jamaica. He grew up with the Vice Cartel. He's one of them. Okay? Not only that, continue to read. Adidja Palmer is someone I grew up with in Portmore, Jamaica. We were little brothers. This was personal to me. He was contracted for USD 1.35 million and to date USD 950,000 was paid USD 150,000 to pay his legal counsel earlier the week. We were asked to push his flight to Friday and we did. We had a private jet on standby all day Saturday. We rolled out the red carpet for him, to say the least. However, the local banking laws and foreign exchange constraints, we are unable to provide the remaining balance in the format requested by his team. And I believe him. The bank won't let you take out no $150,000 to come and give it to nobody. Bank is on you. Even if you go and buy a money order, the bank want to put the person name on it if it's over so much. So this is your childhood friend and you couldn't wait to get the rest, the 150,000. You're so important that you had to get all of this money. And then the rest of the people them jump out and pull out of the show and all of that, knowing that if this man is not there, you guys would have taken the show. Why pull out the show? Why follow this man? Weren't you guys not out here way before this man? Before this man came out? Weren't you guys not doing your shows? Big up to Chronic Law. Chronic Law is the only one that stay do his show and get paid after. So what are you guys going to say? Because Chronic Law is hungry for money? Because Chronic Law want money? Is that what you guys going to say? Not only that, Vice Cartel was only thinking about himself. He wasn't thinking about the fans. Because the man pay you majority of the money. Think about it. Majority of the money. So when you guys are out here pretending to be antichrist, when you guys are out here trying to be lost sheep, these are the things what's happening. Mankind feel like they're important than other people. It's crazy to me. So I had to come out and shout. Okay. So that and that. Okay, guys. Running on, moving on. Okay. From there, guys, I think I am just going to wrap up this live. Okay, and just shout thank you guys very much for stopping by and all of that and all of that. Okay, guys, so this was the situation. Antonio police apologized Thursday for premature statement declaring that there was no evidence of hate crime in the death of Jonathan Joss. And maybe we should even pull up that to see what the police them are saying about the hate crime in regards of this man. In regards of the hate crime situation and all of that taking place at the King and Hill actor and all of that sort. Okay. So the Antonio police apologized for premature. Let's see if it comes up. If not, then I'll just kiss my teeth and pass. Okay, it did. So right here, guys, right here. Sorry, guys. So let's drop this quick and fast, okay?
New here at 4, San Antonio's police chief says they're retracting their statement about ruling out that the murder of the King of the Hill actor Jonathan Joss was a hate crime.
We understand that many in the LGBTQ plus community are feeling anxious and concerned. A lot of it has to do with that premature statement that we released, and again, I own that. We shouldn't have done it. As we observe Pride Month, please know that your safety and trust matter deeply to us.
56-year-old Sigfrido Ceja Alvarez, who is accused of shooting and killing Joss, bonded out of Bexar County Jail today. Alvarez is charged with murder and could face a first-degree felony if he's convicted of a hate crime. Police say Joss and Alvarez were neighbors, and they had a long-running feud before the deadly.
So that's a go on top of that. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout. Oops, sorry. I had to come and shout all of that, guys, this morning. Today, Friday, because I couldn't come on earlier because I'm coming in from work, guys. So I couldn't come on earlier to give you guys the content from after 5. Okay, guys? So I believe I give you guys a content an hour and change. Okay, guys? So happy Friday. Packing Friday, payday for a lot of yous and all of that, guys. And we're just gonna end this day, guys, just to say right here. Okay? On a blessed Friday, may your worries be light, your dreams be bold, and your spirit be lifted. Wishing you a day filled with positivity and happiness, guys. Thank you for stopping by. The rest of the stuff is not on my screen to say happy birthday and all of that sort. I think I kind of clean up my storage, so all of those things are gone off my thing, so to speak. But anyways, guys, for those who's having a happy birthday, guys, happy birthday when it comes, okay? And all of that, and stuff like that, guys. So just be yourself and the happy birthday when it comes. If you're having a happy birthday, if you're celebrating an anniversary, just big up your nice clean self at that as well. And for those who always come and watch the content, happy birthday, guys. And for those who always watch the content, like I said, thank you, respect for those who always come and stop by and watch the content. And for those who always come and give me an ear, I really respect you guys. And for everybody else who always come watch the content, peace and love until we meet another time. I am out.